young lady named Jelena Ostapenko. And Jelena Ostapenko. I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong, but I know I'm not sorry.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I just watched this video of the post-match moment between Taylor Townsend and Jelena Ostapenko, and it really hit me, right? So Townsend wins, and instead of a sportsman-like handshake, Ostapenko goes off on her, calling her uneducated and having no class after a net court point. That right there sparked a firestorm, of course. Naomi Osaka calling it one of the worst things you can say to a black player in a mainly white sport. Thank you so much for tapping back in when you saw this video. Smash that like button and let's break this down.
Game starts, Townsend. 7-5, 6-1.
Ostapenko versus Taylor. I got my 2 cents. So this is the point at which Ostapenko should not have had her pointer, should only have had a pinky. Cause bitch, who the fuck finger in the face is you having right now? See, this the shit I be talking about. This the shit that I be talking about. This the shit they want to do and want to insist that you maintain your decorum. This is the shit they say, it's only words and words don't hurt. Okay, well, when I bend your fucking finger back, bitch, let me know how that feel. Because best believe you ain't doing that in no environment where it's just you two. Okay, you can only pull this shit off in public. All right. Okay, because if that was, in the stock room with the door closed or some shit, if that was, in private with just you two, no cameras, no witnesses, I bet the fuck you would not. And let's be clear about the terms and conditions under which this shit occurred, okay? This bitch, Ostapenko, okay, got her panties in a bunch over losing a point and feeling like she should have got an apology from Taylor over a gesture that is not required. This bitch felt like she should have gotten an apology based over how the point was won. Not that the point wasn't won fairly, okay? Just that the typical decorum or the way that it's generally played or what we're used to or some shit, that shit ain't a requirement. Okay, so ho, is you cool? Apparently the fuck not. You hotter than a motherfucker firecracker. Okay, emphasis on cracker. Okay, because to tell her you uneducated, you have no class, and then see you outside of America, bitch, you lost to her in Canada too. So do you mean see you outside of North America? Were you not being entirely specific? Or did you mean go back to Africa? Was that gotcha, bitch. Cause baby, when I tell you ain't nothing like these trout mouthed assholes when they get their panties in a bunch over some shit that they feel like they're entitled to, some shit they should have had. Okay, and especially when that shit that they should have had goes to somebody that they feel should not have had shit. And especially the shit they should have had. Oh, baby. Okay? Corporate America version of this bitch got the promotion that I should have had. I got to get her. Okay? It just in any space, any situation where anything is dripped in melanin and they gonna be telling them what they feel about themselves. And we just have cameras for it. Trust, believe, and know. This shit has been happening. It's been happening for years and years and years and years, centuries. The book, They Were Her Property. Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? And just to bring it to close, the proof in the pudding. Okay, therein lies the rub. Will be to see if this bitch gets fined. Okay, because the way you slap shit on Venus and Serena for acting up, acting out, being out of pocket, so they had to come out their pocket. I want to see what you do to Annie Oakley right here. Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Annie, yeah. I want to see. Put your money where her mouth is.
Not only did Taylor Townsend win the match, her post-game comments was absolutely fire. This is what she had to say after the match.
It's sports. Like, I feel like people have gotten a little bit soft. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's sports. Like, people talk trash. You know, people say things, whatever. People get mad. Like, everyone has a right to feel how they feel. You know, the problem is like, don't push your expectations on me. If you expect for someone to apologize and they don't, and you get upset about it, that's your fault, not mine. I can't speak on what her intentions were. I can only speak on how I handled the situation. And how I handled it is someone who's upset about the outcome that occurred. You lost, and you're upset about that. Saying I have no education and no class, I don't really take that personally because I know that it's so far from the truth. The thing that I'm the most proud of is that I let my racket talk, because ultimately I'm the one here sitting in front of you guys, moving on to the next round, getting the next check, moving on, being able to still be here and speak to you guys. And that's what's the most important. She's packed up and she's gone.
So I love the way she handled it, and she just got a new fan. Shout out to Taylor Townsend. I will be keeping up with your career and following your moves. Best of luck to you in the rest of the tournament. That's what I'm talking about.
I actually spoke to Alona after the match, but during our conversation, I didn't know what happened. And, well, I have to say that she's nice, you know? She just sometimes can lose control. And she has some things in life to face and some struggles. So I was just trying to help her to, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, just not like face it more in mature way, but I was just trying to help her to like settle down and kind of like just was someone she could speak to and just let it go, you know. I think she just sometimes can just lose control over her emotions, which pretty tough. And I really hope that one day she will figure it herself and she will handle it much better.
She literally bullied and harassed Townsend, yeah, just because she won. It was pure sour grapes just because the girl won, yeah. She just couldn't handle it at all, so she started launching into this girl, yeah. And no one did anything. No one did. They just let this bullying take place on court. Now, this tennis federation or whoever oversees all of this, this is 2025. Why is this going on? This should not be allowed. This, you know, if someone does that on court, and especially bullies and harasses another player, it's different. Like, I feel if they kind of throw their racket and stuff, if they're kind of angry with themselves. Yeah, I know they can get violations and things for that, but I kind of think, look, fair enough, you're just angry with yourself. But when they start targeting someone else, and purely because they won, yeah, that should just be like outright ban for ever even, or just for however long. It's bullying, it's harassment. And what that's going to do to Townsend is, first of all, it took the joy out of her winning. The whole thing then became about this big row. That's really unfair. Also, Townsend has to now go on and play another match. She's not going to be fully focused. Even if she says, oh, I don't care, whatever, of course she cares. Yeah, no one is going to be targeted like that and be okay after that. It was absolutely outrageous. And I just can't believe that nothing was done about that. 2025 and nothing was done about that.
Modern day tennis girly who is good at her job and therefore a white woman complained about her. All up in Taylor's face right there on the court. Now, apparently all the other tennis girlies kind of already know about Jelena. Like, she just has a horrible reputation for being a bad sportsman and really doesn't take losing very well. But when you include the factor of her coming to a black woman in a sport that's typically reserved for wealthier Caucasian people, and you want to talk about her having no education and no class, Obviously, those are targeted attacks that I think go beyond unsportsmanly and immediately turn into acism. And as a Black woman who has actually had to deal with similar things in the workplace, I just want everybody to take a second to understand that it does not matter what industry you work in, there will always be a white woman hating on a Black woman. I guarantee it. I have been fired before over a white woman being like upset that I called out her being horrible at her job. I got yelled at like I was a teenage child by my boss over telling this woman that she did something improper. And oddly enough, I've had this conversation with several other Black women where it's like when it comes to corporate settings or just any type of job that you have, the most terrifying person that you can work with is a white woman who thinks that you should praise her and be inferior to her throughout the longevity of your career, regardless of the skill set that you might have. On multiple occasions, I've worked with white women who refuse to believe that I might know something better than them, that I might do something better than them, that I might be better than them at the same job. And I've also worked with bosses who had a tendency to defer to those white women and who had a tendency to go easy on them for the same type of infractions that I would literally get reprimanded for. So I love that all the people who are more sports girlies and more tennis girlies are actually getting involved in this conversation, because I don't have too much to add to it from that perspective. All I have to say is that this type of behavior that we keep on seeing everywhere we go, it doesn't matter if you're from a whole nother country, white women like to treat Black women poorly and it's kind of a problem. And especially because I have Black female friends who in particular have zero white people in their immediate circle because they simply do not feel like they can trust them. They've been traumatized from work. They've been traumatized from, seeing videos of people doing all kinds of nefarious things. Like, they genuinely do not feel like they can have an inherent trust of white folks. And I think that that's a big barrier to any of us being able to have progress in this country, because you cannot do things alone as a group. As much as I want to believe that Black women will save America, we've tried several times and y'all don't want to listen to us. So if we can't, cooperate with white women who seem to have the most power, how will we ever get anything that we need? So yeah, if you're a Black woman, this is a safe space. Feel free to comment below with whatever it is that you experienced in the workplace where there was a white woman who decided to pick on you that day. And if you're a white woman, I don't know, come back and read the comments when there's enough of them, because I promise you, it's not something that is rare. It's not something that is uncommon. It is something that every single one of us has faced. If you've had more than like 3 jobs in your life, you've probably had a white woman arch nemesis that you will remember until the day that you pass away. I'm not asking you to feel bad about it. I'm not even asking you to apologize for it unless you've done something before and you want to make a confession here too. But at the end of the day, I think Black women are the most aware of the fact that you have to be twice as good to get half as far, and you will still be judged as if you are mediocre. So when it comes to us saying that like these are the things that we experience in the workplace, I would love for you to examine how safe your Black female coworkers have felt around you and see if there's anything that you could possibly do to change that without putting the burden on them to change their feelings about you.
Shout out to the haters in that corner over there. They're gone.
Even if Ostapenko says she wasn't being
anymore.
racist, we see how those words
okay.
land, right? Given the
It's
weight
okay.
that they carry.
No.
But
It's okay.
props
They're gone.
to
I don't hear them
Osaka
anymore.
and Coco Gauff for standing by Townsend and calling it out. That matters, right? And this isn't about canceling someone. This is about naming the harm and insisting on more respect both in and out of the court, right? This video is for educational and commentary purposes only. No hate or violence intended. Also, thanks for being here. Thank you so much for tapping when you saw this video. As always, I'll see you on my next one.